What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another edition of Call the Spot on the Card as part of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast for the week. I am your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me on the mic for this episode is Kaylin Ferris.
Did you know that the local Vietnamese restaurant, my favorite one, stopped selling banh mi sandwiches? This is literally the worst thing that's happened in the United States within the last week.
I agree, and I've never eaten there.
It's delicious.
What's it made out of?
Meat and bread.
It sounds good. No lie, if somebody said, here, eat this, it's meat and bread, I'd be like, all right. Or actually, no, correction, I'd be like, wait, is there any mayonnaise or mustard or relish or ketchup or pickles or anything on this? 'Cause I hate that crap.
Nothing like that.
All right, awesome. Give me some of that meat sandwich.
Vietnamese meat sandwiches.
Oh, well, then it's dogs, then I don't want to eat it.
Jesus Christ.
Depending on what type of dog it is. I don't know. All right, guys. That is not what Call the Spot is about. Although maybe that'll be a future segment. I don't know. Depends on if they ever bring it back.
Call the sandwich.
Call the sandwich on the menu is what it's gonna be. Call the Spot on the card if you are unaware of what that is. We've done 10 editions of this in the past, I think, so you should know by now. But if you're brand new, then I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown because I'm nice like that. Call the Spot's pretty simple. It's kind of like a marry, fuck, kill, sort of, although we're not having sex with any of these people, which is kind of a shame
God
for
damn
part of it.
You lied to me, Tony.
It is a situation where we're going to have to take 5 people, and we're going to rank them from top to bottom. Or actually, we're going to start bottom to top. Another insert sex joke there. And it's going to be the bottom of the barrel is that you are future endeavored. You're actually released from the company. Then you get a little bit of a step up, but it's still kind of shitty where you're a jobber. Then you get into the mid-card, the upper mid-card, and finally you're at the top of the pyramid where you are in the main event. So we're going to do for this one, usually we have just the standard 5 people, and it's like the 5 people that weren't in the Money in the Bank, or the 5 people that were in the Money in the Bank, or whatever the case may be like that. Well, this time, because we have a lot of Survivor Series matches, we're actually going to be doing both Raw and SmackDown teams for the tag team elimination match, the women's elimination match, and the men's elimination match. So there's going to be 3 separate videos here. And if you're listening to this on the iTunes and Stitcher version, then it's only going to be 1 because I don't want to do all that much extra work. So we're going to start with the tag teams. And what we're going to do here to make it a little bit simpler and easier for us is we're going to go like released and talk about both instead of going Team Raw and breaking it all down and then Team SmackDown and going all over the whole list all over again. So we're going to kind of combine our releases together for the 2 teams, the jobbers together, that kind of a thing. So if you are unaware of what the teams are, then here's a quick one. It's Enzo and Cass, Gallows and Anderson, The New Day, Sheamus and Cesaro, and the Shining Stars for Team Raw. And Team SmackDown is American Alpha, Breezango, the Hype Bros, Slater and Rhyno, and the Usos. So as far as released goes, who do you got?
Oh, I'll let you guess who I have for released for Team SmackDown.
I'm assuming it's American Alpha.
Oh, yeah, they're the worst. No, it's got to be Ryder and Mojo Rawley, the Hype Bros. I mean, would anybody pick another team from the Team SmackDown? Yeah, I mean, you did?
Yep.
Breezango?
No. I went with Slater and Rhyno.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So your rationale, I'm assuming, is because fuck Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder, somebody that we've made fun of quite a bit.
Basically, yeah. Not a fan of Mojo Rawley. Zack Ryder, despite what some of you guys might think, actually has some good qualities. Not my favorite. But if we're going to release anybody here, it would be them.
See, I'm going because I actually like Zack Ryder quite a bit. And even though I don't like Mojo Rawley, I think Heath Slater and Rhyno has kind of run its course. And I think that with Rhyno, with the whole election thing, I mean, did he get elected, by the way? I didn't even think about that.
That's I don't know. I'll have to go check those results.
Well, if he got elected...
Where's Wago? Wago lives in Michigan. He knows.
I don't fucking know. I don't know why I did a Sean impression there.
What the hell?
They're British. They're the same guy.
Yeah, same thing.
Haha, everybody that's been the same person all this time. Gotcha, guys. But if he did get elected, then he's got to leave anyway. If he didn't get elected, then he's probably going to be all upset and could leave anyway. I don't know. I've never been the biggest fan of Rhyno, even back in the ECW days. I was always thinking that other people were better. and he doesn't have that much of an upside to the rest of his career. And Slater, I loved the whole trying to get a contract thing, but that's kind of run its course too.
See, for me, they're at least fun. I still think they're a fun group. Hype Bros, they don't do it for me. They're not fun. And I don't get hype when they come out, Like Slater and Rhyno. I don't stay hype either.
That was a softball. You lobbed that one out.
Yeah, that's true.
So I will explain my hype bros when I get to them in the future. For my released for Raw, I think I got the same one that you will. Shining Stars, right?
No, I was going to say Sheamus and Cesaro, or The New Day, or Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, or Enzo and Cass. No, it's actually Shining Stars.
That was the easiest call out of everything on. There's literally 6 editions of Call the Spot essentially going on here.
Yep.
And then 5 variations of each 6 variations. And that was like, oh yeah, that's the one I know for sure. It's like,
this was definitely the easiest by far.
I just cannot stand the Shining Stars, so nobody should be surprised about that. And by the way, before we get into this too deep, everybody leave your comments below and tell us what your rankings are, so keep track of that. Jobber is the next step up on the ladder. I've got Breezango for Team SmackDown because I like them. And I think that they should still kind of keep their jobs and everything. But at the same time, I sort of have to agree with the fact that they are goofy. And now that they're doing this fashion police kind of a thing, it's fun, but it's also fun stupid. So they can lose a match, and it's not like turning The Undertaker into like a laughable character or whatever. It's Tyler Breeze and Fandango out of all people. But I do like them enough that I didn't want to get rid of them. So that's why they get that jobber spot.
For the jobber spot on SmackDown, I chose Heath Slater and Rhyno, and kind of for some of the same reasons that you put them as the released. And that is, it's not going to last very long. But also, Rhyno he's the vet of all these people. I think he's probably been wrestling the longest, at least on WWE television off and on. So as the jobber spot, I think he has the most credibility to put over the younger talent. With Heath Slater, he's not very credible anyway. So while they're both entertaining, I think they're better putting other people over. So that's why I think they should belong in the jobber spot.
Here's where I think we might deviate a little bit, but we might still have the same one for Raw. Sheamus and Cesaro?
Yes.
All right. Now, my rationale for this was it's easy to take a team of 2 people that can't get along and have them job out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when they lose, it could just because, we're not getting along and we can't communicate and wah. It's really kind of writes itself.
I hope everybody was picturing the same thing as I was picturing right then, where they were doing that like, aw shucks thing with your fists. Just like, I don't know how we're going to do this, that kind of thing. That is the easiest way to get around it, though. Like, Sheamus and Cesaro as singles competitors, as much as I don't like Sheamus all that much, he's totally not a jobber.
No, and the same thing, them putting them in the jobber spot, because as singles competitors, they are credible. So if they lose, it actually means something to the team that beats them.
And I'm pretty sure, by the way, that this is the first tag team edition of Call the Spot that we've done.
Well, there you go.
So that's interesting.
This is groundbreaking, ladies and gentlemen.
The most groundbreaking thing to happen in the past 24 hours.
That's absolutely true.
So that moves us up to mid-card. Now this is where you start getting into the categories that the people are actually pretty decent. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily losers, because you can be a mid-carder and still be winning. You're just not the most important person. So for Team Raw, why not switch it up a little bit here? I went with Enzo and Cass, because I think that they're good enough that they can still lose and still hover in that mid-card thing and kind of move a little bit up and down as it's necessary. But Enzo's kind of the weak link. And if he can take a couple hits here and there, and that's the reason why they're mid-carders instead of upper mid-carders, then cool.
For my mid-card, I put Gallows and Anderson. And that's mostly, I would say, based on how they've been booked lately. I'd say in general, if I could do the booking, I'd place them higher. But right now, I just don't think they're credible enough. They've been on such a losing streak for the most part. And until they are able to bounce back from that, I can't really put them any higher than mid.
My philosophy behind that, I think that they definitely should have gone to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
very very first reaction when they went to Raw that I had was just like, oh damn it, because they can't beat out the New Day for that kind of spot.
Right. Yeah, and I wasn't a fan when they were going overboard with the comedy shtick. So I'd much prefer to see them just as the badass heels, just going out and kicking ass. So we need to see more of that. Once we see more of that, then I'll elevate them higher in my mind.
Oh, I meant Enzo and Cass going to SmackDown.
Oh, Enzo and Cass. I thought you meant Gallows and Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson, kind of the same thing, too. If they would have stuck with AJ Styles, I think they would have been better off. Maybe if you take like American Alpha and Usos and you move them to Raw and you take Enzo and Cass and Gallows and Anderson to SmackDown, it probably would have ended up working out best for everybody.
That'd probably balance it.
So we got differences when it comes to that, and then we definitely have differences for SmackDown, because this is where I have the hype bros.
Okay.
And it's mostly just because I like Zack Ryder and I want him to be better. But I also want him to kind of like get rid of Mojo Rawley and bring Kurt Hawkins into the mix a little bit.
Okay. I see where you're going with that.
That way Mojo Rawley can go fuck off in the mid-card or the jobber, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Hawkins can stop doing his terrible gimmick now and just be the Major Bros again. But that's kind of me like fudging the numbers a little bit, because some of these got a little bit hard. So I cheated a bit. What the fuck? Who cares? It's my website. That's my rule. So who's your mid-card tag team for the Blue Brand?
I went with Breezango on this one. I really like Tyler Breeze and Fandango. They're both very good workers in the ring, in my opinion. And I was kind of split. I thought about jobbing them out, but Heath Slater and Rhyno took that spot, in my opinion. So
plus, they already have jobs as cops now.
That's true. So since I couldn't put them any lower, I put Breezango in that mid card because I couldn't put them any higher, and then the lower spots are already filled. So I worked backwards. I filled from the top and bottom, and Breezango is sort of the middle of the sandwich. It's back to sandwiches again. God damn it!
They failed upwards, basically.
It's a Breezango sandwich. Yes, that's right.
I don't know if I'd really want to eat that one. Mystery meat. So since it's pretty obvious what we end up picking for the main event by the time we say our upper mid card, we're just going to combine those. So for SmackDown, we got upper mid card and main event. You and I both have the same two people left, Usos and American Alpha. I went Usos upper mid card and main event American Alpha.
As what I did as well. That's exactly what I did. I figured the Usos, while they are very talented, they are not American Alpha. In my opinion, American Alpha is the main event tag team on the Blue Brand.
They're such a surprise, too, because when they were originally starting to do this whole thing with Chad Gable wanting to join Jason Jordan, I thought it was going to be a huge mistake.
Yeah, I thought I didn't really know where they were going with it at first. But it worked out. I mean, look at them now.
I had Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan were two guys that I really liked working together, and I always liked Dillinger a little bit more. So when they went and they split them off, I'm like, oh, they're both fucked. Like, neither of them is going to make any success in the single stuff. Then when Jason Jordan had this little pipsqueak of a guy at the time hanging around, I'm like, who the fuck is this Chad Gable dude? And why is he popping up with Jason Jordan? He's going to bring him down. And immediately they clicked. And they've been just steadily getting better and better and better. And I think the Usos have been getting better, too, with this whole heel turn.
Yeah.
But even though I do like them and I'm not as annoyed about them as a lot of other people are, I'm not sick and tired of them like a lot of other people. Something that I was thinking about when I was looking at this list, and I looked it up to kind of figure out what the numbers were. They've been around since May of 2010. So
really,
6 years they've been a tag team. They haven't split. They've turned from heel to face to heel. They are still top of the division. And I started looking at, compared to what Fatu was involved with, the Head Shrinkers.
Right.
That was only 92 to 95.
Oh, wow.
So the Usos have been around.
Doubled.
Yeah, Usos have been around longer than the Head Shrinkers. And Too Cool. They were only like a year. So
that was only a year? Seems like it was longer than that.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of crazy? Like, they are a veteran tag team that really at this point have had Hall of Fame careers almost.
Oh, yeah.
So that's insane. I think the same thing's going to end up happening with the main event for Raw. New Day.
Main event for Raw, New Day. Yes, I agree. That's what I did. They are the premier tag team. They're
The
still
guys.
exactly. They're still so completely over. You know, they've gone in waves of heel and face, and I like how they kind of mix that up a little bit sometimes. But I think if you're picking, especially, so that would be main event is New Day, and then upper mid is Enzo and Cass is what I had.
And Gallows and Anderson for me, just because I want them to be the badasses. If we're talking about that, like the stupid jokey versions, then they're fucking jobbers. Screw 'em.
Yeah. But I had to put New Day because, especially with the three of them, they were able to play on each other so well, and just having that third member makes it so much more exciting.
I could see these people going into the Hall of Fame, the three of them together now. Like I think
Yeah.
that they're intrinsically tied together from now on.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they were able to take that idea and just run with it, and it became such a huge success.
And man, I still remember to this day all those times ago when they first started announcing that the New Day thing was happening, and I was pretty much like one of the only people that was like, "This seems amazing," and they're all like, "This is shit." And they went for that heel turn, and it was like that started to get people interested a little bit more because the babyface turn, not the babyface turn, but when they started out as babyfaces, it was a little bit rocky road.
Oh man, that I was not on board at all. I was not on board until they did the heel turn, and even then, at first, I was a little standoffish, but eventually they won me over, and I really love what they're doing. But yeah, especially when they started showing those the promo packages before they actually debuted with the choir and everything. I was like, what the hell is this?
Great. I was like, this is something that I've never seen them do, and I'm so damn curious. I loved it.
Oh yeah, New Day rocks indeed.
Can't wait until they beat Demolition's record. Fuck Demolition. They're a bunch of gimps.
Yeah. I sure hope they do. They've got to beat it at this point, right?
I will be so pissed if they come super close and they like the night before they take the titles away or something.
I'm a little afraid that's might be what they do, but I don't think so. I think they're going to let them break it.
I think it's December 12th or
it's sometime December.
Like somewhere in like the middle. It's not oh wait, no, TLC's first. Yeah, so they'll have passed it by the time Roadblock happens, but I don't know exactly when. So I'm kind of hoping if they do drop the belts at Roadblock, like that's past the point, and then I'd be fine with them even keeping it a little bit longer.
Oh yeah.
That's what you get when you're the main event team.
Mm-hmm.
Aha. So, as I mentioned before, everybody leave viewer comments below. Tell us what you have for these. And we have 2 more editions coming up next. So, click on those if you are on YouTube. And if you're on iTunes and Stitcher, then you'll just hear us talking again in a few minutes. But next, coming up next, I should say, is the women's elimination matches. So, we're going to get into those. Then we're going to end things off with the men's. So, stay tuned, everybody. It's been a while since I've said that.